got this Q50 hybrid with the Thinkware FA200. It looks like there. And some people ask, how can you tell if the camera's recording in parking mode? You get the green light, of course, and when it's in parking mode, you can't use the Wi-Fi. So that's why when you press the button, nothing happens. And that's the rear camera. So our customer specifically requested that he wanted the mirror to be blocking the camera from the driver's seat. So you can see it's blending in pretty nice with these. And right now we have this Forerunner in for a Thinkware FA200 install. See the front camera there. Now with the rear cameras on these trucks, it's always tricky because the rear window slides down. You can't put it on the rear window. You can't even put it on this little rubber strip here because when you close the trunk, it's going to hit and it will probably just fall off eventually. So what we usually do is there is a clip here on the headliner and we just thread a bracket through on there. So keeps it nice and close to the rear of the car. And once you have the trunk closed, you don't really see it. Our last install of the day is the Civic sedan with the Q800 Pro. Now with these sedans, since the 8th gen Civic, this is a 9th gen, but 8th gen and up, the wipers open in the middle. So I'll show you here. So we have the camera just a little bit lower than we normally would to clear the wiper. It's still not perfect because it is a pretty wide angle lens. If you don't want to mount it kind of all the way down here, halfway down the window, that's kind of your only option. And then there's the rear camera. And right now we've got this GT4 in the shop. We just hardwired the Escort radar detector and a Thinkware F770-M. This came out of this customer's old BMW. And today we're doing a backup camera on this, because these GT4s, none of them actually had backup cameras. It's a 2016 car. Now with the GT4, any rear camera install is a lot trickier than say a 911 because of the hatchback design. Have to take off the panel basically all the way there, go through there. It doesn't split at any point here. You have to go up to here. And right now we have this Ram 1500 Eco Diesel in for the Thinkware Q800 Pro. As you can see, hardwired to turn on there. We hardwired for the parking mode. And you do have to take off quite a bit of interior trim to get to the power for this truck because it doesn't have a traditional fuse box. The new generation Ram actually does have a fuse box just behind the kick panel or knee panel there, but this older one doesn't. So this customer is just doing the one channel camera. The reason why is with these pickup trucks, as far as the rear camera goes, we'd have to mount it around here. And the view is not the greatest off the back just because of how tall these trucks are. You generally just see the roof of the car behind you. For sure you're not going to get like the license plate of a truck behind you or a car behind you. And here we have the new generation Ram, literally right after we did that 2018, and you can actually see there's a fuse box here. So we got two Rams in today for lighting upgrades. This one's got a full spider headlight and fog light treatment. So we've got the DRL there with the LED H7 projectors and a H1 bulb there. This reuses the factory turn signal, and that's the old fog light. And then over here we've got Stuart working on the, this is a 2016 Ram, full HID for the low beams. And because this high beam is also the DRL, we went with a white halogen here. And then we have the Sportline LEDs on the fog lights. These are 9005s. Got the fog light, the low beams. See the high beam? high beam. Yeah, so they're all white. And then go daytime running light. Yeah, and then that's the DRL. So DRL is a dimmer version, high beam. Yeah, so you see the DRL dims during a day, but if you're driving during a day and you want to high beam someone, the DRL, if you were to put an LED in there, it wouldn't really work because LEDs can't dim like that. So that's why we'll go with a halogen, but at least it's not yellow and ugly like the factory one. But this is kind of a solution we have to give you a nicer look, but you know, still retain that factory function. So with the headlights on, it looks like that. Daytime running light, we have this strip all the time, and then there's a LED for the low beam. Obviously when you hit the high beam, that one turns on. High beam is in a reflector, low beam is in a projector. So with all the spider lights, they only come with halogens out of the box. We have to put our own LEDs in. We put the sport line lumens in the high beam, low beam, and the fog light. Now normally you can see there's a LED halo. It is lit up, but because the sport line is so bright, you can't really see the halo on its own. It's a 90s German day today here at Overdrive. Got this GT3 Club sworn in, and this minty E36 Cabriolet. A few things on this BMW here. We took the doors off to do the speaker, blown speaker right here. This one's got the full Harman Kardon system, so it's got 2 speakers on the door, 1 speaker down here. I think it's got a woofer somewhere and 2 back here. But the door ones are the ones that are blown. CD changer is not working either, so we're trying to source a used one or something for this. Customer wants to keep it looking stock for collector plates, and also just because it's a super low mileage, under 100,000 clicked. Really nice car, manual. And the door speakers are a bit of an oddball size. We managed to put the kicker 2 3/4 inch speaker. Had to trim down the speaker itself a little bit to grab it to fit it into this hole. But yeah, it should look pretty original. It's very similar design to the factory speaker. There's the factory speaker there, as you can see, completely rotted out. But yeah, these just go in there. And we're doing a Garmin hardwire install right now. This is the Garmin hardwire kit here. It's about 50 bucks if I remember correctly. And you have to take it apart to adjust it. So you have to take the screws out of the cap here. And to adjust the voltage cutoff, you can kind of see, I'm not sure if the GoPro focuses, but it goes 11.7, 12, 12.3, and then we have your 24 volt cutoff. From the box, by default, it's at 11.7. So what you do is you move this connector here and you move it to your desired voltage, which we probably will do 12 volt. 11.7 is quite low for most cars. This is also quite bulky, so keep in mind, compared to say a Thinkware hardwire kit, this is going to be a lot more work to hide. It probably won't fit in like a headliner if you need to do one of those installs. But it is necessary to get parking mode out of your Garmin dashcam. And we just installed the Garmin dashcam on this E-Class with that hardwire kit. You can see the camera. These cameras are pretty good video quality, and now they have parking mode too. And this morning we have a Monster 2005, so the first of the, was a 987 generation. This one's getting a U1000, and we're doing a rear camera, front and rear camera. Rear camera's going back here. With these convertibles, we got a few choices for rear camera options. We could put it on the rear glass. The benefit of putting it on the rear glass itself is that when your top is up, you get the best view out the back possible. The downside to that is obviously when your top is down, you can't see anything because it's going to be folded away. Another option we've done on a few of these convertibles is to put a rear camera maybe up here, just above the mirror. That will see out the back, whether or not the top is up or down, and it will get a little bit more as far as the side view goes. So you would probably see about here, but you'd have a major blind spot right at the headrests. But what we're doing today is going to be on the wind deflector area. That also has ups and downsides, of course. Right there is a little bit low, so when the top is up, the view is not great. But you have view out the back regardless of whether the top is up or down. And we got our 2 sets of Fast FCO4 winter wheel and tire packages here. For that one's for an FK8 Civic Type R. This one's for a new Supra. That's an 18x8. This is an 18x9. And how you can tell the difference is if you look at the spokes, you see where the these two join the middle piece here. It's down sloping there. This one is basically flat, and then it has a steeper drop right about here in the middle. So this one has a slanted spoke. This one has a flat spoke, basically. These are 255 Michelins on the Supra, and then we're going with a 225 Falcon for the Type R. These are, I think, about $1,600 for the set, including mount and balance and everything. These were quite a bit more because the Michelins, obviously. I think these were closer to about $2,500. And right now we've got this 05 4Runner, I believe, maybe 06. This is a 3rd or 4th gen, I don't really know. We did a 2-channel dash cam in this car. Same thing, we put a strap on the headliner there so you can still fully use the trunk and the sliding window. Because just like the older cars, we don't have anywhere to mount it to. This rubber strip's not really ideal, it kind of flexes a little bit, and there's nowhere to hide the wire either. WellVisors is pretty cool because they actually make a black one for A-spec cars, and then for these cars, if you haven't done a dechrome, then obviously you want this to match. And you can see it's a very close match. You know, this is a little bit shinier right now compared to this. It's a little bit dirty, but yeah, it looks, and it's really flush too. It's pretty sick. So the WellVisors here, they're an adhesive mount visor, but they also give you these extra reinforcement clips here. So really clever, actually. There's 2 here. They click in really nicely. This one and one more there. For this car, we also did a 5-window tint. I think we're FA200, and we actually put H&R spacers on those stock wheels. I think we did 15 in the front, 20 in the back. And right now we've got this 2015, I believe, Chevy Express van. This is a carpet cleaning van. Works. We're doing the Sony AX1000 on this one. Customer, we already did one of their vans earlier this month. This one's got the USB and aux right up front. And it's got a volume knob, which is great since this car doesn't have steering controls. Most of these vans don't. And they only have a pair of pretty basic speakers in them, but they mainly need the CarPlay for the navigation. On the back, we are doing a license plate frame style backup camera. And when you shift into reverse, get the rear camera display. Like so. And we're just doing a simple oil change on this Fiat 500 here with the AMSOIL OE series oil, full synthetic, as with pretty much any AMSOIL fluid, pure flux oil filter, same as the factory stuff. Yeah, really good oils. They got really good test results with these, and this car only takes 3.8 liters, so 4 quarts basically does it just about right. You get the Mazda 6 here. Put the LED Sportline headlights in, and with the Lumens white halogen bulb, the Sportlines and the ultra white halogens. And right now we've got this 2019 Supra, I guess, in for a dash cam and amp and sub install. So we have the ThinkWare F800 Pro right there, wired up in parking mode, so you can see, even though the car is off, there is the red light flashing to indicate the parking mode, and a rear camera over here. And we're figuring out how to mount the amplifier in the trunk there. Not a lot of room under the trunk floor on these cars because the battery is so big. There's a 10-inch JL sub. Amp is underneath here, and then we also have the bass knob right here.